Hurricane Sandy is bearing down on the East Coast. The Category 1 hurricane could affect nearly 50 million people. The center of the storm is forecast to make landfall Monday night in central or southern New Jersey. The system will combine with two other weather fronts, a winter storm from the west and a cold air mass rushing in from the Arctic, creating a superstorm. Weather experts expect the storm surges will be from 3 to 11 feet in towns and cities from Delaware through Connecticut. Airlines have canceled hundreds of flights and removed their planes from the coast. Mass transit has shut down in major cities and schools, and businesses have closed their doors. The Oklahoman's Casteel joins us now over the phone. Chris usually works in D.C., but is riding the storm out at his home in Arlington, Virginia. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here, Angie.
Well, now, can you describe what conditions are like at this point?
Well, here in the D.C. area, I'm right outside D.C. in Arlington, just right across the river from D.C. It's still, it's very rainy. It's been raining since yesterday afternoon, coming down really hard at times, and it is windy. The winds are gusting up over 30 miles an hour, and but it's supposed to get a lot windier in the next few hours with I think, sustained winds over 50, 60 miles an hour and gusts over 70. So that's going to be really dangerous around here. You've already got saturated ground. Whenever this happens, and this obviously isn't the first hurricane to come through here, but, typically what happens is tree limbs just start toppling like crazy onto power lines and knocking out power. And sometimes when you have the ground that's just wet, it's like I said, it's been raining for a long time, you'll have entire trees just get blown over, separated from their root system, just blown over onto power lines, onto roads. Just gets really incredibly dangerous. And this is the first time I've lived here, more than 20 years, and this is the first time that I can remember that the metro, the public transit system, the subway system shut down in advance of an event, and that's including some really humongous blizzards a few years ago and other hurricanes. So they announced Sunday night, Metro announced Sunday night that the subways wouldn't run, public buses wouldn't run, and I'll have to look it up, but I really think that's unprecedented for Metro to shut down in advance of an event. So I think people are being smart about this, and we are supposed to get so much rain. Our local weather guy said the D.C. area could get up to 10 inches, which may be the most rain out of any of the cities along the East Coast getting hit by this thing.
Wow, interesting. Now, Irene hit the coast this same time last year, but they expect Sandy will have a much greater impact, kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah, more widespread. Yes, Irene did, had some, it was pretty powerful around here and knocked out power to some people. But we actually had a thunderstorm, what they call a derecho, that knocked out power earlier this summer to, millions of people, I think, up and down the East Coast, and there were people around here that didn't get power back for over a week. But this is some kind of unprecedented storm. Irene was just a hurricane. This storm is a hurricane that's meeting up with what's called a nor'easter. So it's just what they call the perfect storm, and over a lot of population.
Now, Hurricane Sandy is also changing plans for President Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. How will the storm be impacting the current political scene?
Well, Angie, both candidates obviously have already canceled events for yesterday and today. In fact, Governor Romney was supposed to be in Virginia yesterday, I believe down in the Richmond area, Virginia Beach area. He canceled those events, and the president had events canceled, and he came back from Florida early to be at the White House during the whole FEMA planning and everything for this. So the president has also canceled an event already. He was supposed to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin tomorrow. He's canceled that event. So just in terms of that, just in terms of the campaign events, obviously you don't want to be campaigning at a time like this, but so tomorrow it'll be the same thing because the storm's supposed to rage on through tomorrow, and then after that we'll just have to see if there's serious damage, if there's a lot of property damage, and God forbid we even have fatalities or something. It just kind of remains to be seen how soon these guys will want to jump back into it, and how much attention they get anyway, because the media attention, obviously, for the next couple of days is all going to be on the storm. So
right.
It's had a big impact. I mean, it's just, I've seen some speculation about, if power's out for a week, could power be out so long that some of these states can't even vote? So I think we'll just see. It's already, as I said, it's already had an impact, and the impact, at this point, just could be pretty immense depending on what happens over the next 24 hours.
I know. Well, Chris, we obviously want you to stay safe. I'm glad you're bundled up at home. I'm sure that it's going to be quite a ride, so stay safe. And then obviously, we want you guys to stay up to date with everything political. You can go to newsok.com in the news section, and we have a political page all about the elections, the different candidates, what all is going on locally and nationally. Chris Casteel will keep you up to date on all of that. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, Angie.